Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we are stepping into the world of Kabbalah.
A world where ancient wisdom meets modern relevance.
That's right, the mystical realm of Kabbalah.
I like that mystical realm it is.
To guide us, we're using Philip S. Berg's book, Initiation à la Kabbalah.
Oh, excellent choice.
I appreciate that. What I love about Berg is how he manages to make Kabbalah accessible. I mean, without shying away from his complexities.
Yeah, absolutely. He really gets that Kabbalah is about, well, gaining these huge spiritual insights, connecting with a deeper dimension of, existence itself.
Right.
And he really dispels those common misunderstandings about fortune telling.
Yeah.
Or seeking those secret codes.
Right. Okay, so let's dive in. What are some core teachings of Kabbalah? What do we really need to understand as we begin this exploration?
Well, right off the bat, one of the most important ideas is the idea of sodot.
Sodot.
Sodot, yeah, it means secrets or mysteries, embedded within Jewish tradition.
Okay. Secrets, mysteries, intriguing.
Yeah.
So are we talking about like a hidden layer of meaning, like within those traditional teachings?
Exactly. It's, like you said, a hidden layer. Kabbalah, at its heart, seeks to unravel these mysteries, to reveal those deeper truths that lie beneath the surface.
Okay, I like that. So what are some of the secrets that Kabbalah unveils?
Well, a big one, a really key secret, is the nature of ultimate reality. And, Kabbalah describes this ultimate reality as the oneness and infinite love of the Creator.
So not like a judgmental, distant figure, but a force of boundless love. That's pretty different from what people might assume.
Oh, yeah, totally different. And Berg really emphasizes this. He describes the Creator's fundamental attribute as sharing. Sharing. Imagine like a being so filled with love and goodness that its essence is to give and to share.
So it's like the universe itself is like an act of sharing, like a manifestation of the Creator's love.
Yes, precisely. That's a great way to put it. And that brings us to another really profound teaching, the purpose of creation. Kabbalah says the universe was created for humanity's benefit.
Wow. Hold on. So we're not just trying to find our place in some random universe. You're saying that the universe was created with us in mind.
Exactly. With us in mind and for our benefit.
Okay. That's a huge statement. So then what's our purpose? According to Kabbalah, that is.
Our purpose ultimately is to share the Creator's limited goodness with all creations.
Wait, limited goodness? I thought we were talking about infinite love. How can goodness be limited?
That's a great question. It leads us to this really fascinating concept called tzimtzum. Yeah, tzimtzum. It means contraction. So Kabbalah teaches that in order to create something other than itself, the infinite Creator had to kind of contract itself.
It had to what, limit itself?
Yeah, limit itself, to make space for creation.
So it's like the Creator had to step back, so something else could exist, so we could exist.
Yes. And in doing so, the Creator's goodness became, in a sense, limited. It got contained within the vessels of creation. Our purpose, then, becomes to receive that goodness with joy and share it outward. We expand that limited light.
I'm starting to see how these ideas connect. So the universe is an act of sharing. We are created to receive and share that goodness. And the way we do that is by receiving with joy.
You got it. And that idea of receiving with joy, it's really crucial. It's not about passively accepting things. It's about actively engaging with life, appreciating all the gifts, recognizing the divine spark in everything.
So shifting our perspective, from like lack or entitlement to like
Exactly. And when we can truly receive with joy, we tap into spiritual abundance. It's beyond the limitations of the material world.
Wow, I love that. This is making me rethink, honestly, my whole approach to life. It's like a reminder to focus on the good, to find joy in the small things and to recognize that interconnectedness of everything.
And that interconnectedness, it's a key theme. We'll definitely explore it more as we go deeper into the world of Kabbalah.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go deeper. We've been talking about the Creator's infinite love, that idea of receiving with joy. But how does Kabbalah help us apply this stuff? In everyday life, I mean.
It gives us some tools, some really fascinating tools, actually. One of the most important is this concept of the 10 Sephirot.
10 Sephirot.
10 Sephirot, yeah. Berg describes them as emanations of divine light. They represent different aspects of the Creator and the structure of reality itself, actually.
10 Sephirot. Okay, that sounds kind of complicated.
It is. But think of it this way. Imagine a beam of pure white light. It passes through a prism, right? And it refracts into all these different colors.
Okay. Yeah.
Each color is distinct, but they're all still part of that original white light. The Sephira are like that. They're different facets of the Creator's light. Each one expresses a unique quality or attribute.
Okay, so they're not like separate entities. They're interconnected aspects of the divine.
Exactly. They're all connected. And what's even more fascinating is that Kabbalah maps these Sephiro onto the human body.
Wait, hold on. You're saying there's a divine blueprint, like within us?
Yeah, like a blueprint. Each of those Sephiro corresponds to a specific part of us, a specific part of our being.
Wow.
It's a direct connection, between our physical and spiritual selves.
So each Sephiro, it's like a part of our body.
In a way, yeah. And understanding that connection can be, honestly, incredibly insightful.
Okay, can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's take cheese, for example.
Cheese?
Cheese, yeah. It represents loving kindness, and it's associated with the right
arm.
Right arm, symbolizing our capacity to extend ourselves to others, to give and share.
Okay, so by cultivating cheese, we're not just being nicer people, we're aligning ourselves with, like, a fundamental aspect of the Creator.
Exactly, you got it. And then there's Gevura. Gevura, yeah. Represents strength and discipline, associated with the left arm.
Left arm, okay.
It's about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, standing firm in your convictions.
Okay. Both are important, right? Cheese and Gevura. But they seem kind of opposite. How do we balance them?
That's where Tiferet comes in.
Tiferet, another one.
Tiferet, yeah. It means beauty and harmony, associated with the heart center.
Heart center, okay.
It represents the integration of all those different qualities. It's about finding that sweet spot, where strength and compassion work together, where we can be assertive and kind at the same time.
This is making me think about all those times I've struggled to, to find that balance, to be strong but not harsh, or kind but not, a pushover.
We all face that. It's a constant struggle. But Kabbalah suggests that, by understanding the Sephiro and how they work within us, we can become more conscious of these forces.
Yeah.
And learn to harmonize them.
Like we have an inner compass, to guide us through the messiness of life. But how do we put this into practice? Like really put it into practice?
One way is through Dveket. Dveket. It translates to clinging to the Creator. Clinging. It involves practices like contemplation, prayer, ethical actions, things that help us align ourselves with the divine flow,
So it's not just about understanding the Sephirah. It's about actually cultivating them within ourselves and making sure our actions reflect them.
Exactly. Spot on. And when we do that, we're not just transforming ourselves, we're contributing to Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam, yeah. The repair of the world.
Repair of the world. Okay. This is reminding me of what you were saying about the purpose of creation. So by embodying these divine qualities, we're actually fulfilling our purpose in the universe.
Yes. In a very profound way, Kabbalah teaches that the world is in a state of brokenness, a separation from the divine light. And our actions, our choices, they can either add to that brokenness or help heal it.
It's like we each have a role to play in this big cosmic drama. And by aligning ourselves with the principles of Kabbalah, we can help restore balance and harmony to the world.
And that's where receiving with joy comes full circle. By appreciating the good, sharing it with others, striving to live in alignment with the Sephiro, we become vessels for the Creator's light. We bring healing, transformation to the world.
I'm really starting to see how all these teachings connect and reinforce each other.
Yes.
It's not just about personal growth. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with everything and our responsibility to, to contribute to the well-being of the world.
And that's the beauty of Kabbalah. It's a holistic worldview, encompassing the individual and the collective, the spiritual and the material.
Okay, so we've got the Sephirot, Dveket, Tikkun Olam. Wow, it's like we're building this whole new vocabulary. But Kabbalah doesn't just focus on our inner world, right? It also has something to say about the nature of reality.
Yes. And this is where things get really, really mind-bending. Kabbalah teaches that reality isn't just what we can see and touch. There are realms beyond the physical.
Oh, okay. Now you've really got me intrigued. Tell me more about these other realms.
Kabbalah describes these realms as the four worlds. Think of them as levels of existence, levels of consciousness even. Each one has its own unique characteristics, qualities.
So it's not just like a physical world and a spiritual world. There are multiple layers to reality.
Exactly. And they're all interconnected. They influence each other. The four worlds are Atzilut, Bariah, Yetzirah, and Asiya.
Okay, wow. Those are some names. What do they represent? How do they relate to us, our daily lives?
Well, Atzilut is the highest. the realm of pure divine emanation. It's closest to Ein Sof, the limitless source.
So absolute is like the pure essence of the divine, the source code of everything.
Yeah, great way to put it. Then we have Bariah, the world of creation, where the first seeds of form, of structure, they begin to appear. It's the realm of, like, archetypes, divine blueprints.
So in Barai, it's like the creator's will is taking shape, like the blueprints for a galaxy
Huh?
or a human.
Exactly. Then we move to Yetzirah, the world of formation. Those archetypes are taking on more concrete forms, you know? It's the realm of emotions, of angels, of the celestial spheres.
So in Yetzirah, those blueprints start becoming reality.
Precisely. And finally, we have Asiya, the world of action.
Action.
Yeah, this is the physical world, what we experience with our senses. The realm of matter, time, space.
So Asiya, that's where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, this conversation, our daily lives, all in Asiya. But here's the thing. Kabbalah teaches that we're not just physical beings stuck in Asiya. We're spiritual beings too, with the potential to access those higher realms.
Wait, hold on. You're saying we can actually experience these other worlds?
Not necessarily in a physical way, but through spiritual practices like meditation, prayer, studying Kabbalah. We can elevate our consciousness, tap into those energies, that wisdom of the higher realms.
It's like expanding our awareness, connecting to a deeper dimension of reality.
Yes. And when we do that, we grow the light from those higher worlds down into the physical world. We create a more harmonious existence for ourselves and for everyone.
That's a beautiful idea. It's like we're not just stuck here, in this material world. We have the potential to bridge that gap between the physical and the spiritual, bring heaven down to earth, basically.
And that's a core message of Kabbalah, recognizing that the divine isn't separate from the world. It's present in everything, even in the most mundane things.
Well, this is making me rethink like my entire view of reality. It's like there's so much more going on than we realize.
And that's just the beginning. Kabbalah offers a huge, intricate map of reality, full of symbolism, metaphors, these incredibly profound insights.
I'm honestly feeling a little overwhelmed,
Yeah.
but like in a good way. It's like this whole new universe has opened up.
Yeah.
But where do we even begin? Is there a particular text or a tradition that can guide us?
Well, one of the most important works in Kabbalah is the Zohar. It's a collection of mystical commentaries on the Torah.
The Zohar. I've heard of it, but it seems even more mysterious than Kabbalah itself.
It is. But it's considered a foundational text. It offers these deep insights into the creator, creation, the soul's journey. It's written in Aramaic, full of symbolism, allegory, all these esoteric interpretations.
So not exactly light reading, more like, I don't know, a mystical decoder ring for the Torah.
That's one way to put it. The Zohar isn't something you just, sit down and read. It takes deep study, contemplation, guidance from experienced teachers.
It sounds like a whole journey in itself. But is there anything in the Zohar that's, accessible to someone just starting out with Kabbalah?
Sure. One key concept is the idea of the Shekinah.
The Shekinah.
Yeah, the Shekinah. It represents the feminine aspect of the divine.
The feminine aspect. So Kabbalah recognizes that there's both a masculine and feminine principle at play.
Absolutely. The Zohar teaches that the Shekinah is the indwelling presence of God, the divine energy that nurtures and sustains all creation.
So it's like the mother aspect of God.
That's a beautiful way to understand it. And the Zohar says one of the goals of our spiritual journey is to reunite the Shekinah with the masculine aspect of the divine. We restore wholeness and harmony to the universe.
Wow. That's a really powerful image. It speaks to that longing for unity, for balance that I think, so many of us feel.
Yeah. And the Zohar is full of these rich, evocative metaphors. It invites us to see the world and ourselves in a new light.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to learn more about the Zohar. But before we go too far down that path, I want to come back to the history of Kabbalah. It's not just a static set of teachings, right? It's evolved over time.
Oh, absolutely. Kabbalah has a long and fascinating history, with all sorts of different schools of thought and influential figures shaping its development.
So it's a living tradition, constantly being renewed and reinterpreted.
Exactly. We already mentioned Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the traditional author of the Zohar, and Rabbi Isaac Luria, who introduced the concept of Tzimtzum in the 16th century. But there are so many other fascinating chapters in the story of Kabbalah.
Are there any movements or schools of thought that you find particularly interesting or relevant to our world today?
Well, there's Hasidism. It emerged in Eastern Europe in the 18th century. It draws heavily on Kabbalistic teachings, creating a more joyful and accessible approach to Jewish spirituality.
Oh yeah, Hasidism. I've heard of that. known for its music, dancing, and storytelling, right?
Exactly. The Hasidic masters, like the Baal Shem Tov, they taught that the divine spark could be found in the simplest things, the joy of everyday life and the connections between people.
It's like they brought Kabbalah down from the ivory tower
Yeah.
and made it relevant for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And it had a profound impact on Jewish thought and practice. It spread throughout Eastern Europe and eventually to other parts of the world.
It's amazing to think about how these mystical ideas have traveled and evolved, influencing different cultures, different spiritual traditions.
And it speaks to the enduring power of Kabbalah, connecting us to something bigger than ourselves, tapping into a source of wisdom and inspiration that transcends time and place.
I'm really beginning to appreciate the depth of this tradition. It's not just about, abstract concepts or rituals. It's about finding meaning, purpose, connecting with the divine, contributing to the healing of the world.
And that's what makes it so compelling, It's a path of awakening, uncovering those hidden dimensions of reality, recognizing that divine spark within ourselves and in everything around us.
This has been an incredibly enlightening conversation. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface, but I'm ready to dive deeper.
And that's the beauty of it. There's always more to discover, more to learn, more to experience.
I love that. So before we wrap up, I'm curious, what drew you to Kabbalah? What sparked your interest?
For me, it started with a fascination with how everything is interconnected. The idea that there's a hidden order, a meaning beneath the surface of reality.
It was like a puzzle you had to solve?
Yeah, exactly. And the more I delved into Kabbalah, the more I realized it wasn't just about finding answers. It was about asking deeper questions, expanding my awareness, challenging my assumptions about the world, about reality.
It sounds like it's been transformative for you.
It really has. Kabbalah has helped me see the world differently, connect with the deeper sense of purpose, find more peace and joy in my life.
I can definitely see that. This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me, and I really want to keep exploring Kabbalah, see where it leads.
And that's the key. It's a journey, not a destination.
I love that. So what advice would you give someone who's just starting out with Kabbalah?
Be patient, be open, be willing to have your assumptions challenged. Kabbalah is deep, it's complex, it takes time, effort to really understand it, but it's worth it. It's truly worth it.
That's great advice. Okay, we've covered so much in this deep dive. The core teachings of Kabbalah, the Sephiroth, the Four Worlds, the Zohar, even a bit of its history. I feel like I have a much better understanding now, but I also know there's so much more to learn.
That's the beauty of it. It's a lifelong journey of discovery.
Okay, so to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep. Until next time.
As we've been talking about all these intricate teachings of Kabbalah, I keep coming back to this idea that even the most profound spiritual stuff, it has to be grounded in action, in the real world,
Oh, totally. I was just thinking about that. We've covered so much. The Sephiroth, the Vikut, the Four Worlds, the Zohar. But how do we actually live this stuff? How do we make it real in our lives?
Well, one way is to start seeing everyday things through that Kabbalistic lens. Like, remember the idea of receiving with joy. It's not just a nice thought, it's like a key, a key to accessing the Creator's goodness.
Right. It's about seeing that even the simplest things, a beautiful sunset, someone being kind, a good meal, those are all expressions of the Creator's love.
Exactly. And when we receive those gifts with real gratitude, we're not just being polite, we're aligning ourselves with that divine flow of energy.
So it's about engaging with life, savoring it, seeing that spark in everything around us.
Yeah, precisely. Another way to live Kabbalistically is to work on cultivating those Sephiroth within ourselves. We talked about cheese, loving kindness, and Gevura, strength, but there are 8 more, each representing a different piece of the Creator's being.
Right, but how do we actually cultivate them? Is it just like thinking good thoughts or trying to be a better person?
It's more than that. It takes conscious effort, like if you're working on cheese, you might actively look for ways to be kind, help a neighbor, volunteer, just listen to a friend who's struggling.
So it's about action. Putting those abstract ideas into practice, bringing the spiritual into the material world.
Yes, and the more we do that, the more we transform ourselves and the world around us. We contribute to Tikkun Olam.
Tikkun Olam, the healing, the repair of the world.
Right.
I love that. It's like we're not just watching, we're part of this cosmic play. We're co-creators, in a way, with the divine.
And that brings us back to the 4 worlds. We were talking about how each world affects the others, right? What we do here in the physical world, in Asiya, it can actually have an impact on those spiritual realms.
Wait, so Like, if we live ethically, consciously, here, it can actually affect those higher levels of existence.
That's the idea. Kabbalah says our actions have these ripples, They go way beyond what we can see. By aligning ourselves with the divine will, by trying to live according to those sephirot, we help to elevate, to refine all of creation.
Wow, that's powerful. It's a lot of responsibility, but also, like, an amazing opportunity to actually make a difference in the universe.
And it all begins with that simple idea of receiving with joy, appreciating the good things, recognizing that divine spark in everything. It shifts our whole perspective, opens us up to so much more.
This whole deep dive has given me a lot to think about. I'm excited to keep exploring Kabbalah, to put these teachings into practice.
It's a journey. It never really ends. It's full of challenges, but also a lot of rewards. Just remember to approach it with an open heart, a curious mind, and a willingness to change, to be transformed.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for being our guide in this incredible world of Kabbalah.
It's been my pleasure, really.
And to our listeners, keep seeking, keep questioning, keep diving deep. Until next time.